A chat about video game collecting and just sort of have a good sort of start chat about how you can get started, what kind of video games we found in our collection, and just that kind of thing. So first of all, let's all introduce ourselves. So let's start with the end.
Hello there, I'm Dave. I'm with Nintendo Basildon, and we show off Nintendo kit to different people as part of Nintendo Players UK.
Yep, I'm Andrew. I run Nintendo Southend. Just like Nintendo Basildon, we have various events up and down the county. And, yeah, leave it at that.
Okay. I'm Kat. I'm a member of Luckiest, although an absentee member, usually due to work. And I just do the podcast and things like that. So.
Yeah. And I'm Aaron. I'm also part of Lucky Hit, a YouTube channel, and I also do my own narration as well.
Okay, all right. So, and now we've finished the introduction. So, just to open it up then, why do we collect? Does anyone want to start with why they collect video games?
And the reason why I collect them, it's fun. Basically, I have fun playing the games, fun looking at them on my shelves. Basically, anything that resembles like video games, say statues like Amiibo, collector's editions of games. Always does look good on shelves and everything. But yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
Well, the reason I collect is, we use the word collection, but it's one of those things I don't like just putting something on a shelf and just leaving it there. That kind of just feels like a waste of the potential of what you're actually collecting. I like to get it down, I like to use them. But it's more a living library than a collection. So there are people that love collecting the sealed in box stuff, and there's companies that will actually hermetically seal it and give it the grading for you, if that's the kind of thing you want to. But I'm more just in a collection that I can use and play and love.
Yeah, I'd say for me, I think collecting games is more to do with playing games and just having very interesting, because there's so many games out there, especially if you go back to like older systems, you'll find so many hidden gems that you just would have never have heard of otherwise. And that's kind of how I got into collecting. I just kept finding games were quite cheap and all kinds of unusual games, see what they're like. Whereas back when I started collecting, there wasn't really as much documentation on the internet, so you would sort of go into these games completely blind, not know what you're getting, and sometimes you get some real pleasant surprises. So.
And sometimes you get 688 tax on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you get Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Unfortunately, I bought that on day one.
Unfortunately, I actually like that game.
What's it down to now, like £8?
Yes, when I paid 50. But yeah, that's the bad side of my collection. Some bits aren't as good as others. So.
Okay, all right. So why don't we have a chat about what we actually have in our video game collection then? So does anyone want to start? What about you guys?
I was about to say, your Amiibo collection?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Dave. I'm an Amiibo addict. Thank you all so much for this intervention. It was on my living room shelf. I have every Amiibo that's out at the moment, which is now just over the 800 mark. It's pretty bad, is the honest answer. But
including the Amiibo cards.
Including the Amiibo
wow.
cards. Yes. There's 560 cards and there's just short of 150 figures. That's a full international collection, so that includes the Japanese ones, the American ones, the variant ones, the special edition limited cards that only came out with certain magazines that I had imported from Japan. I've done a lot of things. I'm not proud.
I don't think anyone would be proud if they had every single one.
Yeah.
Although I'd be proud if I had the gold Mario. That's at least the only thing.
Gold Mario sits next to the gold Mega Man on my shelf.
Wait, there's a gold Mega Man?
Only came out in America, but yeah.
Oh, the Americans?
My friend actually has one, and I remember him buying it, and he literally Skyped me straight after. He was like, "Look what I got!" He was literally freaking out about it. It was amazing. I've never seen my friend so ecstatic.
Honestly, I would do the exact same thing. Ask anyone in my family, they'd answer you that question.
Yeah, my main thing at the moment is the Amiibo, so there's a lot of Nintendo stuff on the shelves as well. I've basically got my whole living room racked out with IKEA shelving, and it's just full of video games from all the generations back to the NES and the SNES up to the modern day stuff.
Yeah, I'm not prejudiced against any games companies. I pretty much collect anything from Sega to Sony to Microsoft to Nintendo to Atari.
I've just got one thing.
Mm-hmm.
How dare you go against Nintendo and go for Sega games?
I was a Sega fanboy before I was a Nintendo fanboy. I apologise to Mr. James Bowden, the community manager of Nintendo UK, who helps us with events and everything. But yeah, I was a Sega fanboy before that.
If you were paying attention at the Nintendo booth, we were using a Sega pen.
Yes.
Put all the Mario Kart times down.
Of all things.
I noticed that.
You tasted it.
It's a disgrace. You've tainted Nintendo.
These things happen. But yeah, just anything from the games itself to the consoles. I've got a few bootleg consoles which I'm not too proud of, but so I've got a Mega Drive which can do like European games, Japanese games, American games, and it can overclock it as well. And yeah, it's just one of those things in my collection I really like.
Right, so I sort of grew up on Sega consoles, so that's kind of where my collecting started, and I was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog when I was a child, so a lot of my collection is Sonic the Hedgehog stuff, like stuff that I had as a kid.
It better not be Sonic Boom.
Can we put a link
We
into...
don't talk about Sonic.
I was going to say, we don't talk about that game.
Yeah, Sonic CD.
So yeah, my collection is mostly Sega stuff, and I have got a load of other bits. Like I have quite a big collection of PlayStation 2 games, Wii games. I really enjoyed the Wii. It's just basically consoles that I end up finding lots of like unusual and fun games on. So I've kind of got a mix of all sorts, but the majority of my collection is Mega Drive, Sega Saturn, and Sega Dreamcast. They're the ones that I sort of went out of my way on eBay to find all the games I want to try out for. So that's the bulk of my collection.
Can we put the a URL to the Sonic's birthday video into this?
Can't be right.
He's cut the cake. That's an in-joke for those who
What should I
subscribe to Lucky Here.
Got to struggle a bit there. We've got my partner and I share a video game collection. Although the only reason why we share a video game collection is I've got a couple of rare ones that he wants, if that makes sense. So for me it's all about quality, for him it's about quantity. For the majority of my partner's video game collection, it is PS2. It's so easy to get PS2 games nowadays. So that's the main majority of it. Some of the sort of the stuff that we're more proud of that come on the PS1. So I managed to find Discord Noir, he managed to find Alandra, is that how I say it?
Mm-hmm.
Alandra, so those kind of RPG ones tend to be...
Yeah, the collection is a good chunk of RPGs, I would say.
Yeah.
Really good RPGs.
But it's fun RPGs.
Yeah.
Just going to say, I agree with that PS2 statement, because out there's like a whole booth of games, and all I ever see are PS2 ones.
They're so easy to
I
get.
know, right?
But that's... So our video game collection, as I said, is mostly PS2, and for me it's all about trying to get sometimes a piece of history or a memory. For example, I spent a great amount of time in my youth playing Final Fantasy IX, so I spent a lot of money trying to grab that, and that's what mostly our video game collection is. What about sort of favourite items? For me, I think I'm really, really proud of the fact that I've got Guitar Man,
What's that? What's that?
Can I just quickly...
Guitar
Yes.
Man. What is that? And whose hat is that?
It's my hat. Thank you.
Guitar Man is like it was like Guitar Hero before Guitar Hero, so it's sort of like a rhythm game that you play a guitar and you go through levels to save the world.
Not my cup of tea.
Once I was absolutely rubbish.
You are rubbish to start with, but that's the beauty of Guitar Man. When you get good, you're like, yes.
Guitar Man has a robot with turntable breasts.
That's what you're going to say.
Sold.
For me, it was the bone trio.
Oh.
Sold on that. But I also have the Nipponichi, is another thing that I collect, so the Disgaea ones. They're a bit more cult. They're a strategy RPG, which means that they're basically turn-based.
Like Pokemon, sort of.
Sort of like Pokemon, more like a sort of like a weird RPG version of chess.
Oh.
You've got certain characters who do things, and you need them to go elsewhere. So those are my favourite items in my collection. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'll go. I'd say the most favourite piece of history that's in my collection, a signed copy of Mario 64, signed by Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was at London Film and Comic Con a few years ago, and I was shaking like that.
Super Mario Galaxy?
No, Super Mario 64.
Oh, that one. Oh.
Yeah,
I know what that is.
But yeah, I was shaking like a leaf, because he is the voice of my youth, and yeah, I was just so proud when I got my own cartridge saying Super Andrew, Wahoo, Charles Martinet. That's all there is to it.
My favourite item in my collection is one that I use virtually all the time. Turn the clock back to 2001, as my fellow Dreamcast fan will turn. You couldn't make any phone calls to us because we were all playing Phantasy Star Online every day, all day, all the time, on dial-up mode at 4p a minute. Amazing fan space RPG, lots of glowing swords, lots of fun.
Are you sure this wasn't the Star Wars rip-off? Was it Star Wars? Glowy swords. Okay. There was a joke in there, but I guess no one got it.
But a couple of years ago, I was helping the team at Summer Sonic run the convention, and the guy that made the game, Yuji Naka, also the guy who programmed the first Sonic the Hedgehog, he came in as our guest of honour, and he actually signed my original copy of Phantasy Star Online. So that is my absolute favourite thing in the collection.
That's funny that you bring up Summer of Sonic, because one of my prized things from my collection also was from the same place, funny enough. One of the years they had Yuji Naka, Jun Tsunoda, and Izuka, like the director of the Sonic series at the moment. And I took my Dreamcast there, and I got all three of them to sign the front of it. And then I got it like silk screen covered, so it will never smudge off. by my uncle who owned a bike shop, so he knew how to do that silk screen stuff. So it's on there now. So I was really pleased with that. I had to wait in the queue for almost 2 hours.
That was probably me making it.
Almost missed out right at the front of the queue, and then they just went only into the in.
Is it still usable?
Oh yes, it's my main Dreamcast. It's the one I use. It's got a mod in it, so you can play every region. Yeah. And if the Dreamcast breaks, I can always just take the shell off and stick it on a working one. So.
But is it still the same Dreamcast?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the most prized things in my collection.
What about our luckiest finds then? What do you think? For me, I think it was We Love Katamari in game. The game we're doing sort of a 3 for £5 deal. And I got what We Love Katamari as part of it. Oh, admittedly, I had to buy Dead or Alive 2, but We Love Katamari, definitely up there. So, what about you, Dave? What do you think is your luckiest find?
My luckiest find, that's sort of the thing that you just walk into a shop and you never expect to see it, and you go to the shop and you're actually shaking when you're buying it. And it's a great thing when it happens, because it's just out of the blue, you never expect it, and you just get such an adrenaline rush. And for me, probably the best, luckiest find I got was when Woolworths was shutting down. I went in there and they were doing a fire sale, and I managed to pick up the new Tetris and Super Bomberman 64, brand new in the factory seals, for £10 for both of them.
Isn't Super Bomberman 64 really old?
It's old, but still good.
Any kind of Bomberman is still good.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Bomberman.
Let's
I'm
not talk about
I'm not a Bomberman guy. I don't see what people see in Bomberman.
You haven't got. Yeah, you need to play it.
I've seen people play it. It's boring.
You need to get 8 of your friends, or with the
Saturn Bomberman.
When we're done with this panel, come to our table. We're going to have have single Bomberman R running, 8-player Bomberman. You're welcome to come have a go and have a good laugh.
I play Bomberman. Let's go now.
Yes. He's gone for Bomber.
Okay, what about you, Andy? What's your luckiest practice?
It's hard to pinpoint something, but in of all places, I was in a charity shop. Yeah.
Is this one I know about? No, never mind. Probably not.
Yeah, basically, if you can go to any charity shop, you will find PS2 games, but sometimes you find a few gems here and there. I was lucky to find Time Splitters 1, Time Splitters 2, and Time Splitters Future Perfect, all 75p each. So, yes.
There's a moment.
Thank you. Ching.
I thought you was going to mention Kingdom Hearts 2 Unwrapped.
Oh, yes, that as well.
I've heard of the Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
What is Kingdom Hearts about anyway?
We don't have time for that.
Okay.
We could be here till 10 o'clock and we would not have time.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to explain Kingdom Hearts if you've never played it. It's just they take the Final Fantasy characters and then they take the Disney characters and then they squish them together.
Yep.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly that.
And that's why I always see Mickey fighting evil monsters.
Yes, pretty much. Yep. I've played a little bit of it. It's all right. What about you, Aaron? Your luckiest
I've
find?
got a few. Back in the day, probably more than 10 years ago, you used to be able to go to the car boot sales and they would have stuff. They would have games.
What is this?
You could actually go there after 4 a.m. and actually find things. But I think that's one of the main places I ended up with amassing my collection was actually car boot sales back when people weren't so up on how much everything's worth.
Getting run to eBay. And
Yeah, exactly. But some of my luckiest buys, I think. One time I found what's called a Sega Multi-Mega, and it's a Mega Drive combined with a Mega CD in a really tiny little console. And it can also be used as like a Walkman as well. Like you can actually put headphones in it and put loads of batteries in it and actually use it around. I found one of them just loose on the floor, like someone's car boot sales floor, for £6.50.
I'm just gonna say one thing.
Just to let you know, on eBay they tend to go on average for around 300.
I paid £120 for my multi-mega.
No.
I'll say Aaron wins.
Well, I got a Sega Mega Drive from for the Xbox, the little Sega Mega Drive disc.
Oh, the collection.
Yeah.
That's got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. I got that for free.
Nice.
From family.
Nice.
It's called bargaining. I gave them nothing.
Hang it to nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll just take it.
I totally didn't steal it.
I think we've touched on this a little bit more, but where do you guys tend to find where do you go to find your collection?
It really depends the sort of thing you're after. I mean, the good thing and the bad thing is people are now thinking about video game collections and thinking of it as history, like the early computer stuff. There are people going out there, some of it to preserve stuff. If you don't keep up with the scene, a very rare Atari 2700 turned up in a thrift store in America last week. It was a prototype, it never got released, and it had wireless controllers, which back in 1988 was just unheard of. The reason it didn't come out is they had no way of pairing the controller to the Atari, so you would have been able to control everyone's Atari in a 2-mile radius.
Oh, I would have loved that.
But yeah, someone managed to find one of these prototypes that sneaked out. Last year, the SNES CD prototype sneaked out, didn't it? And someone just found that in an old office move when a video game company was moving. That was basically the predecessor to the Sony PlayStation before they had a big bust up and became enemies. So yeah, you can find amazing stuff just in unusual places, office moves, fire sales in old buildings. I picked up an Atari Mega PC. Yeah, that was actually in my office when I moved in there on day one. The company before that, I think were using it as a security system, they just left it there. Car boot sales, thrift sales, and occasionally if you're after something specific and exotic, support your local independent game shops, please do. There's not very many of them left, they need all the help they can get. We've lost so many of them and they really appreciate the business and they will love you. Whereas games just hold them hard.
I'm just going to say this before I forget what I was going to say altogether, because this is just running out of my head. You know Pokemon? That's like my pride and joy of Nintendo. I just want to know, what is your guys' favourite Pokemon?
Jogging.
I see that. I see that.
Yeah. No, I've got a soft spot for Bulbasaur. I don't know why. I just.
Did you just see your first?
Listen, we do not speak about Starter. Just like we don't speak of Sonic Boom, we don't speak of Bulbasaur.
Oh,
Just steering back on topic. Where would you go to stuff apart from your boot sales?
Yeah, for me, what's happened with my collection is it's mainly became Japanese game focused. There's a reason for that. One, a lot of retro games, British retro games ran slower. They had borders. They didn't quite play as well as like American or Japanese games. Generally, I buy Japanese games because they're cheaper. A lot of the time, like especially with like Sega stuff, the British Sega games seem to go for ridiculous money, and in a lot of cases their games are arcade games and they didn't have much in the way of text or dialogue, so there isn't really much of a language barrier there. So yeah, a lot of my games I actually buy them from Japan now. There's a few people I know out there that basically trawl around the Japanese shops and find stuff. It sounds a bit cruel that I'm taking stuff away from like people in Japan, but like he manages to get me some quite good deals sometimes, so let's see what. There's a couple of guys like that I've been buying from mainly, get a few bargains like that. Otherwise, keep an eye on eBay. There are a lot of people that take the nick on there, but you can get lucky with auctions sometimes. And of course, we're going back to independent shops. We actually have one in Leigh-on-Sea in Southend now called the Retro Hunter. And yeah, he's not too bad with his prices, and you know, you can find some good gems in there. So that's another good place to look, you know, in the local area. So yeah, all kinds of places. Try charity shops. Try anywhere that would have second-hand stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
Trade counters, you know, like trade cash converters. Sometimes not too bad. Just be careful with the condition, I suppose. Always check if it's a CD. Check that it hasn't got like holes.
If you want to become a serious collector, go and get a job at CEX and just start hiding stuff under the counter.
I think that's called stealing.
One time last time I went to CEX, they actually had Legend of Zelda 2 in there for about 40 quid, and I was like, I really want to buy it, but I didn't have it.
I had really hands in CEX. My girlfriend sent me a photo of
Castlevania and stuff, and I was just like on the floor crying.
Fantasy Star 1 for the Master before I could
It was actually at our local CX that we found Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2.
Yes.
So, in pretty decent condition, and that was, I think they were, one of them was £5, one of them was £10. So
is it right if I just chuck in another luckiest ever purchases thing because it's related to CEX?
Go on then, if you must.
A few years back, again we're talking like back when people weren't as knowledgeable about it, I suppose, when CEX were only like around for a few years. They, behind their glass, they had a whole collection of boxed Super Nintendo games. They had Mario World, they had All Stars, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2 and 3, and Mario Kart.
Pretty much the essentials.
Yeah, all the essentials, £2 each.
Whoa.
I think I would have just headbutted my way through the glass.
That will never happen again, by the way. Never again.
No,
I'm shocked they even did it then.
CX now. I got Tom was telling me once about this game he used to play when he was younger called Wiz and Liz. Like, by the same guys who do Lemmings, isn't it?
I've got a friend who is a huge fan of Wiz and Liz.
I managed to find just the cartridge though for £1 at CEX, just in their bargain bin, and I brought that home to Dom. I was like, look what I got you. Oh, no instruction manual, or no box, no manual.
Wow. I don't know how to play it.
Wow.
I got you a piece of your history. I mean, he was happy, but he would have been happy. Yeah.
Cheers. Collection.
It could be better. So I know a couple of you have spoken about, I think you, Andrew, you've got a couple of fakes.
Yeah.
How would you go about spotting any?
Obviously, cards, yeah. There's plushes. A few years ago, I used to collect every single Mario plush going, and I made the unfortunate mistake of buying off eBay, getting them. 2 days later, just fall apart because they're poorly stitched.
I'm too hard.
It's an interesting question because there's actually one of my friends, Lewis, he actually goes out of his way to collect the old. You guys, you look about the right age. Do you remember those old counterfeit Game Boy cartridges, the 32 in one, the 64 in ones? There's actually a subculture that work on collecting those cartridges and getting the pirate games like Sonic 6 on Game Boy.
Yeah. My friend actually has one, and it was a Mario Kart bootleg. And it was called Mario Kart 0. And oh my god, it was the most chaotic game I've ever played because it would have a different map to what you were driving, or it was just static, so you won't have the map to follow or anything.
It's because we go back to sort of the mid 90s. These counterfeit cartridges, they were technical works of art in some cases. Some of them are very well programmed, some of them are reskinned other games. This was the time when modding games on a console was unheard of. So there's a lot of very interesting exotic things, so collecting those can be quite fun. My favourite one, when I've got someone that I want to annoy, I've got a copy of Sonic Advance that's counterfeit and doesn't have the battery in, and it crashes every time you go into the shower garden. Wipes the whole save, everything gone. So as long as you know you're getting counterfeits, don't consider it a big problem. Because there's reproduction carts now, reproduction labels, there's big arguments about whether if you get the game battered, should you leave it in the dog-eared condition or should you do it up? It's kind of weird because it's like a modern version of what all the artists were going through. Like, do you get a painting that's looking a bit damaged? Is the damage part of the history of that painting, or do you repair it? And how do you repair it in a way that's respectful to it? These are all sorts of questions in the video game collection side that we're just starting to have to look at and answer. But again, as long as you know what you're buying, it's not a big problem. The problem is when people come and say something's A and it's actually B.
Yeah, I guess if you wanted to actually spot a bootleg, I suppose, I guess what you should really do is just look at all the little details of like the cartridges and the box design. Mainly like the fonts. Usually fonts are the first thing they get wrong. When you see like a bootleg boxed Game Boy game, for example, you can always tell just by font quality and inconsistencies.
The colours not quite reaching the end of the
it's just kind of little things like that. As you were saying, like it's become a bit of a blurry line recently, what with reproduction carts and stuff like that, especially in like the Sega market. There's a lot of repros going around now because some of the games are just getting too expensive for anyone to afford now. So
again, it's so handy. It's the whole thing of the virtual consoles that Nintendo and Sony are doing. This was something that wasn't an option to the last generation. If you wanted to play an old game, you had to go and find that game. Whereas if you just get interested in the gameplay experience, there's other ways.
You get so many other ways now. I mean, you can even get if you want to play games on the original hardware, but you don't want to go out and collect all the games, you can get what are called Everdrives, and they're basically cartridges that you put SD cards into, and then you can just stick all the games you want into that. But you're still playing on the original hardware, so it's not emulation, it's still the original games as they were. You just don't have to have a massive shelf full of them and all that kind of stuff. And that's another option now, it's not like buying these old games is giving money to the developers. The only way you would be able to give money to developers now for retro games is stuff like Virtual Console, PlayStation Plus and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a bit of a blurry line really now, but if you did want to spot them, it is just a case of keeping an eye on the print quality and just
copyright logos, they sometimes purposely spell those wrong so you can't.
Mario Kart with the C, stuff like that.
Okay. So that was sort of what we thought you might want to hear. Does anybody have any questions or anything?
In game collecting, have you ever checked out any of like the old microcomputers, like the ZX Spectrum, the Sinclair, the BBC Micro, and checked out games for them?
We've got in our house a Spectrum that somebody provided to us. I think we've got a couple of games. I think we may have Ghouls and Ghosts, but I'm not entirely sure.
I remember you had a cassette of that.
So I mean, I grew up on I think it was the Commodore. So I'm definitely into the old sort of style, whatnot. But we haven't actually. I've never used our Spectrum. I really should try it. At least Girls and Ghosts on the Spectrum.
Experience.
Good experience. But I'm not sort of prejudiced. I would give those kind of consoles a go if I could find them. I would certainly, if I found a Commodore tomorrow, definitely snap it up.
Because I remember when I was a kid, I used to own a BBC Micro, and one of the games for it was called Granny's Garden.
Yeah,
and one of the images
was one of my first ever video games.
Yeah, it was a witch's face, and it looked so scary, it just freaked me out.
The noise it made for me, it was the sound.
Yeah.
Me and my friends in primary school played that like every week, trying to beat it. It took us forever to get past all those cryptic puzzles.
Did you do Granny's Garden in a faff about at all? Or?
No, we did it in I think it was an EGX Eurogamer video.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they had the retro section there, and they actually had a BBC Micro set up. So yeah, if you ever look on our channel somewhere, you'll see me playing through Granny's Garden.
If you're interested in that sort of stuff, I can thoroughly recommend the National Computer Museum, which is up in Bletchley Park. They've got loads of the old kit. They keep it in running order so you can play with it.
And where's Bletchley Park?
That's in Milton Keynes.
Okay.
And if you want to go a bit further afield, the National Video Game Archive is in Nottingham.
Nottingham, yeah, Tom went there, didn't he?
Yes, if you are interested in the retro stuff and you want to actually see this stuff in action, I can absolutely recommend a visit to both of them. The Retro Video Games and Video Game History Archive, they're trying to build up this collection of this old stuff, and occasionally they get these amazing gems turned up. What was it, last year, the source code for Prince of Persia turned up in the guy who's programmed it. His mum was having clear out, and he found a cardboard box full of copies, and luckily she was smart enough not to just chuck them out. They flew a specialist piece of kit across the country to read these discs that were in damaged condition. They managed to get the original trial and beta code for Prince of Persia from 1986.
Way back on
It's really, there's some absolutely amazing stories about collecting history of video games. Another one of my favourite ones is BS Zelda. Has anyone heard of that? Yeah. It's so in the 90s on the SNES there was a satellite system that you could use in Japan, and they would beam the game directly into your console, and then it would play with a live soundtrack that was broadcast over the satellite. And because it was broadcast live, they could put a real orchestra in, there was voices, so it's linked to the past with full orchestration, rock music, Ganon's fully voiced. But of course, because it never got broadcast again, it all got lost. But a team, they managed to find enough of the old consoles with the data still in, and someone had an old crappy VHS recording of the data, of the music, and they managed to combine all of that and rebuild this game that's never been playable since 1993.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen BS Zelda in action, and yeah, it is a great game. Just to see as it is.
It's showing those two letters together, isn't it? BS.
Broadcast satellite, Darren.
Get your
not anything else. But yeah, I've seen it in action, and going back to the Spectrum, there is a lot of emulation out there, because basically you can run it on a mobile phone. There's this thing called the ZX Spectrum Vega, which was just basically a controller, which is plug and play, and yeah, there's 1,000 games in that, so if you haven't got one of those, it's definitely worth tracking down.
Because the thing with a lot of those old computers is the waiting time for everything to play, because a lot of them use cassettes, and they basically have to play through the entire cassette to load the entire game in before you can play it. So
go make yourself a cuppa, basically.
Yeah. Some of those systems like Spectrum, they will take 20, 30 minutes to load it down. So yeah, I mean for myself, I'm a little bit too young to have had Spectrum and C64, but my first computer was a Commodore Amiga, and I've still got a bit of a small Amiga collection. So the only thing with those is some of the discs are starting to die out, and it's starting to get bigger. Yeah.
I think that thumbs up was our start winding up.
Right.
Are there any more questions out there that anyone wants to ask? Or has anyone got an amazing piece? Now's the time. You've got an amazing piece of kit that you want to boast about that you're so happy you got. Now's the time to say.
Yeah, that's nice.
Why did you look at me?
I got a question.
If I ask something, do you happen to remember your very first experience with the game and what game it was?
Yes, that's not something you forget. My very first experience of a video game was Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Game Gear in a party in Ilford, and I thought this blue hedgehog's cool. And 20 years later, I'm running conventions for him. You should all come along to Western Supersonic, by the way.
I kind of feel a little bit old, but why was Alex the kid?
Alex Kidd, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You might be interested. The team that did the Wonder Boy remake, Lizard Cube, there's a lot of people asking them to do Alex Kidd Miracle World next. And
My dad recently got divorced to his, not my mum, but his wife after my mum. And he's actually found the console and actually had Alex the Kid and he actually introduced me to, yeah.
Was it the one that's built into the
Yeah.
So you don't even need to own the game, it's just in the system. Yeah, I love that. I think my first ever gaming experience might have been the NES. I believe, I think...
English, it's NES.
And I don't know if it was the first game I played, but definitely the one that stood out most first was a NES game called Gunsmoke.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Capcom shooting game with a cowboy. I just adored that game. I don't know how old it was, it must be 3 or 4, but I adored that game. We had a NES for a short while, but they just kept blinking and not loading. And we ended up getting an Amiga and Mega Drive instead.
Do you remember your first gaming experience?
It is way too far back. But no, it was on Commodore 64, I know that. And as far as I remember, it was Trivia Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit. I don't know how I won it, but I played it and won the game.
My first video game experience was a game called New Zealand Story.
Yes.
Do you remember that? I could never get further than it because I played New Zealand Story recently. It's on the Taito collection, and I got past the second level. I was like, I'm not pro at this. I used to play this all the time as a child. Got past the second level, recognised nothing. So obviously, you know how far I got when I was a kid.
It's so much better.
It's such a good game. It really is so fun.
Yeah.
I love it. And also Lemmings. I think Lemmings is pretty standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love Lemmings.
Well, I think at that point we'll wrap it up a bit more
Yeah.
But as I said, if you guys do want to, we're going to go and find Bomberman up on our stall. So if you want to come and play some 8-player Bomberman, you're more than welcome to.
And if you want to try and get started on your video game collection or retro collection, I've got a stall and we managed to find some real gems for on PS2. They're all reasonably priced.
She has made me so poor that I bought about half her stall.
So do come and have a look and see what we've got. And I can most of the games are ones I recognise and I've had some experience of, so I can talk to you.
Just come and talk to us after you want to and talk about retro games to your board of us, frankly.
Yeah,
so.
I can do this all day.
You do it all day.
Yeah.
You're recording so you do it all
This
day.
is your job, Aaron.
It is.
Right, well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for coming.
And